Hi guys, this is Cece here from Cece Sharing Space. In this space, we share views and information on self-development and relationship building. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button and to receive notifications for the new videos. And also, don't forget to click on the like button. Enjoy, thank you. Hi everyone, this is Cece again here from Cece Sharing Space. I just want to speak about a topic which is quite an interesting topic, okay? I've been coming across a lot of posts on social media, WhatsApp and other social media saying we young girls, single young girls are saying, I don't need a man. Now my question is, as a young woman, okay, I don't think there's any young woman that wants to be alone and doesn't want to have that love from a man if you are heterosexual. But if you're gay, that's another story. But when you're making comments like, I don't need a man, what does that really mean? Are you too independent? Or you trying to prove your independency by saying that? But you're not realizing that the more you say that, the more you're pushing your desired need that you really want inside. Because normally as humans, we normally say things and we really, inside we believe something else and we contradict ourselves. And this world or this universe works with what we believe and what we speak out. So if you speak out that you don't need a man because you feel that you're too independent, or you want to feel that the world needs to know that you don't need a man, you're okay with being single. Okay, I just want to say that there's nothing wrong with being single. I was single for most of my adult life. And believe me, within that period of being single, I personally, like all other women in the world, we dated, yes, we did, and inside our hearts, we were looking for or waiting for the right man, the man that's going to say, "Marry me," or "Please be my wife." So, yes, I must admit that in my time as a young woman, in my 20s and even in my 30s, because I married when I was 35 or so, I was quite older in age. You see, so I know how it is to be a young single female. And by then I had 2 children, and most of us as females these days have kids out of wedlock. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it puts more pressure in terms of you need to get a man that's going to accommodate you and your children. A man is not going to reject you because of children. So this was my experience. So understand where they're coming from. Excuse me. I feel that women should actually speak with their minds and their hearts. So when you speak your mind and you speak your heart, you will attract and create things in your life that you really do need and want in your life. So when you're saying that you don't need a man, you're telling the world, you're telling the universe, that you're telling God, if you believe in God, you're telling the spirits that you don't need a man. And so then you won't get a man because you feel that you are too independent, you don't need a man. And this is the experience that I did experience when I was younger, before I met my husband. And it took me to a point of learning what I really want, and learning the fact that what you put out there in the world with your mouth, with your words, actually brings whatever you want in life. So as soon as I found that having a husband is my desire, it's my deep desire, I decided to change my perception and then admit to myself, to my friends, and everybody else that cared about me in my inner circle that I want to get married one day, that I would like to be a wife one day. You see, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you are weak. You see, I think as humans, we tend to correlate being married or being single to being independent or being strong or being weak, and that's not the case. If you are a married woman, it doesn't mean that you are weak, and if you are a single woman, it doesn't mean that you are weak or strong. It just means that at that moment you haven't met that person. You haven't met a person that's going to make that commitment and make you his wife. And then again, on the other side, it's okay being single, even if you don't get married. It's fine. That's if you really don't want to get married. If you don't want to be in a marriage, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to get married, you better just learn how to speak your mind and speak your heart. Let your mind and your heart agree on one thing. And then you will see that your perception will start changing, that you now will really believe that there is a man that's worthy out there, worthy for you. You see, another thing with being female and being young, a young female, you have a low self-esteem in most cases. Most of us had low self-esteem and even still have now, even after marriage. You have low self-esteem and you don't believe that you are worthy of a so-called good man. Now that's another thing, and another thing that's really confusing me is, what's the meaning of a good man? If you want to attract a man that's right for you, you need to be very specific on what you want. You need to not just say a good man. A good man could be anything. A good man could be a man that's working, a man that is God fearing. It could mean anything. You need to be specific. Your man is unique to your needs. So when you're saying, I need a good man, you're just being very tyrannic, you're just being open. That means that God, the universe, will come out and give you anything. I'm trying to look at it in a more general sense, not in any religious perception, okay? Because there are people that have different perceptions, and not all of us base our perceptions on our religions, you see. So that's why I'm using these different terms to accommodate everybody. So then, as a woman, you decide that one day you want to be a wife to somebody. You want to have the children, the husband, the picket fence, the white picket fence, that whole dream scenario of being a wife and having children and having a husband. You need to understand what that means first. What it means in your culture, what it means in your religion, and what it means to you. Because what I understand is that you are not your culture and you're not your religion. So you need to understand what are your deep desires. This is where the work begins, to understand what you want in life. And unfortunately, most of us are walking around the world not knowing what we want. And then and all the time we just keep on attracting different things opposite to what we really desire. And I've experienced and seen my friends in my inner circle, how they managed to attract the people that they wanted in their lives, that attract the right, so-called right man for them. You see, a lot of the people that I schooled with in my younger life married people that they were dated when they were in school. And that's okay as well. But most of us end up finishing school, finishing tertiary, start getting work and employed and continuing our lives without getting married, and that's fine as well. Some of us marry late in our lives, and that's fine. Some of us marry early in our lives and we end up divorcing or separating with our husbands. Those things happen. So you see, marriage and being in a relationship is not a permanent thing. It's not guaranteed to last forever. It's about two people working together. This is a continuous work in progress. And that's the thing about marriage and relationships. So back to the point of being single and wanting a husband. Okay, so you do your research on what you want inside yourself, in your heart. In your heart's desire, you find out what you really want, right? And then you write this down. I used to write down all the things that I desire, right? And the funniest thing is that 10 years prior to meeting my husband, I wrote it down. And at that time, I was very religious. So my point of view of my husband, what he looked like, he had to be God-fearing. He had to be in a certain aspect, okay? But in all my descriptions, my husband to be wasn't actually supposed to be somebody with lots of money, but he should be a hardworking man. And that was what I wrote down on a piece of paper in my 20s, okay? Because I read a book, and the book told us that if you want something, write it down and write what you want, and then God or the universe or the higher power will give you what you want. Okay, so this is what I did. And that was in my 20s when I did this, and I put it in a book, one of my old books, right? And I left it there for many years. Then I continued dating the wrong guy, obviously, for many years. I had a long-term relationship for about 10 years, so I know how it is to be in a relationship that's not going anywhere. I felt that this relationship will end up with us getting married. However, that didn't happen. Okay, so yeah, so that was the point, and I stayed in there because I didn't want to be alone. I was scared of being alone because again, I felt that if he leaves me, he'll find somebody else and he'll marry that person, and I wanted to marry him. You see, so we bluff ourselves. We bluff ourselves. You cannot convert a man and make him love you the way you want him to love you. You see, that's what I learned in my journey. Then later in my life, in my 30s, I decided, well, I don't need a man. Then I started using that term, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. I'll be talking with my friends, and we're all independent women in our early 30s, and we're so proud of being independent financially. We got jobs and careers, we're earning good money, we're driving BMWs, some of us, of course. We're just doing so well. And we're taking care of our shit, as they say, taking care of our lives, our children, everything. We were taking care of ourselves. So now we were telling each other we don't need men. I don't need my man in my life. However, the funniest thing is that we're finding out that we need sex. You see, so now we're dating just for sex, and that seemed to be a bit strange. But this is what happens: young women at a certain age in their lives, after 30s or so, they end up dating for sex. Okay, so you're now dating for sex because you have sexual needs. You're now getting toys, sexual toys, to satisfy your sexual desire. But at the same time, you're saying you don't need a man. You don't need a man. You're telling your friends, everybody in your inner circle, that you're independent, you work, and you're earning all this money. You're just so well off. You don't need a man, right? But at home, you're going home and you're crying. I used to cry myself to sleep. I dated this guy, but he wasn't really in my life. I used to cry myself to sleep because he wasn't loving me the way I wanted him to love me. He refused to get married. My other friends, they were what they call serial dating, and I was stuck with one person. So I was so miserable in my 30s, early 30s, because I wasn't married, and this man I'm with is just not playing the game the way I wanted him to play the game. Then after I think I was 34 or 33. I decided to call 33. I decided to call it quits. You see, I called it quits on this relationship that was not working. I'm sharing this because I'm trying to help others out there. Because if you hear a testimony from somebody who's experienced something like what you're experiencing now, it makes you feel that you're not alone. Okay, so I'm just trying to reach out to women out there that to understand that they must not lose hope in themselves, and they will find the person that's right for them. Not necessarily the generalized good man, but a man that's good for them. So you need to write down all the things that you desire in your man, okay? So this is what I did. While I was dating that fool, sorry to call him that, but yeah, that's just my opinion, okay? While I dated him, I wrote everything down because I was also being foolish myself, sticking with somebody who he was not going my direction. However, when you're young, you don't think straight. So I wrote everything down, what I want in a man. After I dumped him, I left him. Because now I knew I'm getting married. I knew in my heart and in my soul that this husband of mine that I desire is out there. Another thing, that when you want something in life, you need to be sure of it. You need to live it before it comes. They call it manifestation. You need to live what you want before it comes. And this is sometimes strange for some people, but everything that we desire in our lives, we feel it inside ourselves. And once you can feel it inside yourself, it's there. It does exist. And this goes with everything in life, with money, with a job, with everything, with success, with everything, and including a man that's right for you. Okay, so then I had written that down. And I kept it in my early 20s already, although I was dating a guy that's not going nowhere with me. He was not going my direction, you see. So what I'm trying to say here, in life, we go through different things in our lives, and we go through these things because we need to learn about ourselves and life. So then later on, to cut the story short, I did meet my husband, right? It's exactly what I desired. A man that's gonna love me for me, with my situation, in my physical situation, and a man that understands me. And that's a person that's God fearing. That's a person I met, a person that's gonna take care of me and love me unconditionally. That unconditional part is not really a true thing, because I have conditions, he has conditions, but we just call it unconditional. And yet we all have conditionals. But even that's another video I made previously. Anyway, yeah. So now what I'm trying to say is that when you are a young woman, you need to know what you want. And don't keep on saying the wrong things when you know that in your heart it's opposite to what you're saying. A woman is always saying, I don't need a man. Really, inside the deepest parts of her heart, she does. She does really want a man in her life. She wants to be married too, like all other women. She wants to find a husband. Okay, then I'm just going to go stop right here with this video, and I'll continue with the next part in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please don't forget to subscribe and like my videos. Thank you so much.